Yeah, we live. All right, shalom, shalom. First
Well,
off, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh.
Yahweh, Bashim, Yahweh, Bashim, Yahweh.
Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone. Peace, love, salutations, blessings to the house of David, which is the elect, the men, women, and children that are predestined to receive salvation and to be the first fruits of the kingdom of heaven, which is the kingdom of Israel. All right, Yahweh is the Heavenly Father's true name in ancient Hebrew, who the world ignorantly calls God, the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And Yahweh Shai is the name of his own begotten Son, the Savior of the nation of Israel, starting with the elect, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. All right, so, brothers, just through the spirit, we want to go, straight into this article. All right, let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Got here. All right, this article that you see on the screen right here, coming from the Washington Post. It says, stealing to survive, more Americans are shoplifting food as aid runs out during pandemic. All right, and we just want to go into this article and show you the times that we're living in. All right, as the scripture says, the spirit of Yahweh Shai is the spirit of prophecy. So all these things that is happening right now in these last days, all right, in the time of Jacob's trouble, the hour of temptation, all right, the woes, the beginning of sorrows. Yahweh Shai said that all these things were precursors to his return. So these are the things that we got to continue to look out for and watch and to warn our people. All right. And the Lord also did tell us that these things were going to come, but he also said that he will deliver us from the same. All right. He will deliver us from these troubles while the masses of people who are, blinded by, the cares of this life. Okay. The surfeiting, the banqueting, the things that pertain to the pride of life. These things are going to, take them as a thief in the night, as Yahweh Shai said. But this is right here just is more proof that America, Babylon the Great, is fallen. Okay, and it cannot be healed. So brothers want to say something. Yeah, we get into it.
Yeah, just adding on to what you're saying, hey, that's, that goes to show you that, the mirth of the land is being, taken out, because now America's starting to become real uneasy and uncomfortable. Like the scripture said, thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. You got these people stealing to survive. That's just a prelude, man.
Mm-hmm.
God. Hey, and that's going to show you that this year, Apostle Tahar coined it the year of prophecy, and this has been one of the biggest, the years that we've seen the most prophecies, man. You know what I'm saying? And it's evident because now it's not just us saying it or the scriptures bringing it out, but people are actually seeing it. So those things that used to be called so-called conspiracy theories, all right, are becoming real life reality that people are actually living. And it happened in a very short time. Like the scriptures say, it just happened out of nowhere, and now people are feeling the effects, and it's going to get even worse. Like Yahushua said, is the beginning of sorrows, man. All right. So we want to get right into it.
Yeah, we get right into it.
Okay. All right. So you want me to read off the screen or off my phone?
However you want to do it, whatever is easier for you.
Okay, I'm gonna just get it from here. All right. It says stealing to survive. All right, it's from the Washington Post. Okay, more Americans are shoplifting food as aid runs out during the pandemic. Okay, and this is December 10th, 2020. All right, the year of prophecy. We're gonna get right into it. It says, early in the pandemic, Drew Park noticed a worrisome shift at the market he manages near downtown Washington. At least once a day, he'd spot someone slipping a package of meat, a bag of rice, or other food into a shirt or under a jacket. Diapers, shampoo, and laundry detergent began disappearing in bigger numbers too. All right. It says, since then, he said, thefts have more than doubled at Capitol Supermarket, even though he now stations more employees at the entrance, asks shoppers to leave backpacks up front, and displays high theft items like hand sanitizer and bacon yeast in more conspicuous areas. Park doesn't usually call the police, choosing instead to bar offenders from coming back. It's become, quote unquote, much harder during the pandemic, he said. People will say, I was just hungry. And then what do I do? It says, what do you do? Okay, it says, the coronavirus recession has been a relentless churn of high unemployment and economic uncertainty. The government stimulus that had kept millions of Americans from falling into poverty earlier in the pandemic is long gone, and new aid is still a dot on the horizon after months of congressional inaction. Hunger is chronic at levels not seen in decades. Okay, you want to say something or just keep going?
Yeah, I just wanted to go to the first and couple paragraph sentences where it
Mhm.
says that the things that are being stolen now, are not what people typically was stealing before this whole pandemic, happened. A lot of people, which were stealing, electronics, things that they could resell, or things that were too expensive for them to buy, but it wasn't really a necessity. But right now, as you see, because of how everything is happening, and how everything, people has lost their jobs, and people have, be put into a situation of stress and distress, they're starting to now steal things that are necessities, things that you wouldn't expect, or you wouldn't think that you would need to steal last year. As they said, like diapers, laundry detergent, food. Okay, these things that in Babylon, America, these are Babylonians. They took these things as for granted, thinking that they can always and will always be able to have access to them, and be able to afford them. But now, as time is progressing, because of all these lockdowns, shutdowns, and these small businesses that are going under, that is actually affecting the supply chain, and people are losing their jobs to the point where it's at an all-time high. They said that the unemployment rate is higher than even the time of the Great Depression back in 1929. So it's going to show you how time, since March till now, you got things happening, and now they're saying that even up until the end of this year in 2021, it's going to even be worse than when it was when this whole thing started off. That's all I want to say about that.
Con. Hey, and it's heavy too because a lot of people tend to forget that the collapse that happened in 2008, 2009, America never really recovered from that. There's been even back in, I believe, 2014, 2015, economists were saying that the economy could collapse within that year, 2015. All right. And they were saying that it's so bad, America is in so much debt that it's impossible for them to recover. So when this whole so-called pandemic hit, it pretty much just shut everything down, which is what these elites were trying to do for so long. But they had to have a reason for the people to go along with it. You know what I'm saying? And that reason is that pandemic, that so-called pandemic that's hit right now. You know what I'm saying? And if you notice, it's hitting, like the elder just said, is attacking the essentials that people actually need. Okay, is attacking the essentials that people actually need. And earlier this year and parts of last year, 2019, you heard a lot of these farmers, all right, in the Midwest, in the western parts of the states, all right, they were shutting down their farms, all right, and especially this year when the so-called pandemic hit, they were killing a lot of these animals. They were pouring out milk. These farmers were talking about how they didn't have, the ability to grow their crops and so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We kept telling you that watch out to the end of the year when the food banks, all right, the food stores, the storages, and so on and so forth get emptied out, but there is nothing to replace it. Okay, how are you going to survive back then? How are you going to survive when that time comes? And that time is now. Okay.
Hey, I'm gonna say this too, and this devil, he does that, to make people lean on him,
Right.
For everything, because when people are, like it said on this article, survival, that means that people are in a type of mode to where they don't have really anything. So now they're gonna, all Esau has to do is roll out the red carpet and say, hey, if you take this, you can have this, you can have that. We'll help you with this and help you with that. It's reverse psychology.
God, God, God.
Yep.
I'm gonna continue. It says, there you go. A little bit. There you go. There you go. The rest, the result.
Okay.
The result is a growing subset of Americans who are stealing food to survive. It says, and that sentence alone is something that me personally, like before I got into truth, I never thought I'd ever hear, man. Americans stealing food to survive. That's like some shit that you would hear from a third world country or some shit like that. But just that sentence alone is showing you that America is already in a third world, is in a third world country state. Okay, to have to steal to survive, yo, that you in a third world country state already, man. It says shoplifting is up markedly since the pandemic began in the spring and at higher levels than in past economic downturns, according to interviews with more than a dozen retailers, security experts, and police departments across the country. All right. It says, but what's distinctive about this trend, experts say, is what's being taken. More staples like bread, pasta, and baby formula.
Hey, and that goes into what the Lord said about the famines that was going to come to this place, man. Because right now, there's different types of ways that you can have a famine. One of the ways is not necessarily there's a lack of food, but there's a lack of being able to access food. And how do you access food? Here in Babylon, you can't really grow your own crops and grow your own, have cattle on the farm. So you access food through what? Through these grocery stores. And the fact that they're saying that these are things that now people are taking, that's what goes to show you that the mindset of people are now entering into more serious, mindsets, man, because the Lord is really bringing everything back to the basics. Okay. Because in this world, especially here in Babylon, people have a value in materialistic things, whether it be a car, whether it be clothes, jewelry, X, Y, and Z, all these things where people value other people in, they value your worth based off of how much food, how much, name brand clothes you got, or how big your house is, or how much, whatever, things of that nature, even like how much social media followers you have. Mm-hmm. But what is happening because of this, as it says, that this trend, because people now get into the mindset of survival mode, what is being stolen or what is being taken are things that are necessary in order to survive. Bread, pasta, and even baby formula. Okay, which the Lord said in that scripture. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. It's at Matthew 24. Mm-hmm. Let's get it. Matthew 24, verse
19.
19th water. It says, Matthew 24, verse 19. It says, "And woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days." All right. Why? Because of situations like this, you're now going to have to not only worry about yourself, but you got to worry about, feeding a whole nother mouth, man. You got to worry about feeding your baby, and baby formula is not cheap. Over here, where I'm at, they got baby formula in behind a glass door. It's locked up. You can't just go on the shelf and pick up baby formula. You got to actually get an employee to unlock it and give it to you because it's so expensive, So the Lord is hey man, the Lord is showing you what he talked about. Because remember, when you go up to verse 3, the disciples asked him, says that as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came into him privately, saying, "Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming in the end of the world?" And it's spiritual, because even though this book is published throughout the world, Yahweh Shai said this privately unto his disciples. So we're the ones that are really the only ones that are actually taking heed until this warning that Yahweh Shai gave about what are the signs are going to be. Even though, once again, the Bible was published throughout the whole world, he was speaking privately unto his disciples. And we're those disciples coming back. So that's why we're able to see all these different things and all these different signs that are happening, which, the Yahweh Shai called the beginning of sorrows. And we able to tell and be able to measure the times diligently within themselves and see that we are living in the time of the end. All right. We're living in the time of the return of Yahweh Shai. But we know that these things must first come to pass.
God. Hey, and you notice too how it's happening, right? Like as Yahweh Shai said, as the precept, as we just read in the prophecy, okay, it's happening in the end times, man. Because what? A lot of these women, okay, they receive benefits off of the government. Okay, their food stamp, the WIC, and so on and so forth. These stimulus checks and so on and so forth was given to you women, and for you to get, especially Jake women, for you to get those benefits, you had to have the man out of the house. So now a lot of these women too, they did it out of spite. The man leaving the house was done wicked. Okay, for you to get those benefits. So now that man who could be there for you to help you out, he's not going to be there no more, man, and he's probably going to come back into your house for revenge. Okay, because it's about to get tough even on everybody else, including the men. Okay, so right now you can see the most fragile people in society will be the old, the young, all right, and then the women. Okay, in every society, when you have a catastrophe or an attack or whatever it might be, it's always the old and then the youngest, the oldest, the youngest, and then the women. Man, you are the ones who will be known as the weak ones. Okay, and it's the in the early stages of this pandemic, you can see that it's taking effect on you women and your children as well.
Uh,
Okay,
hey, and a lot of women are single. Single family women.
mothers, yeah.
Single parent women.
Hmm.
And before they would take pride in that. They would take they would boast and like, I do this all by myself. I do this all by myself. I'm a working mother raising my kid and all by myself. Like that whole strong independent woman act. But now you about to really see how strong and independent you are. You about to see how, because when we read this article, a lot of the ones who are in that bad case are women, and that's why the scripture talks about how that seven women is going to cleave unto one man, which we'll get that in that we'll get that later. But we can clearly see why that's going to happen, because really when push comes to shove, when your back's against the wall, when that pressure starts to build, women aren't built to handle that type of adversity. All right, they're not built to handle, like, even in the animal kingdom. When you see, like, you have like the lions, they would the lioness, they would go out to hunt, right? But then when it gets to a certain time where, let's say, there'll be like water buffalo that they're fighting back, or they gotta kill, but then you got some hyenas that come around and try to take the kill from the lioness. If there's too many of them, the lioness ends up fleeing and leaving. They don't end up winning the battle between themselves and the hyena. And then that's why the lion, the male, the king of the jungle, when he comes, that's when the hyenas, back down and run away. Because ultimately, women have their position and women have their place in order, but they're not built to handle adversity like a man is built to handle adversity, which is why majority of wars are fought by who? Fought by men,
Right. And I got a scripture real quick. This Isaiah 32:9. Rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. Right. And who does the Lord talk to?
You can start at verse 1,
Okay, come.
and then you can jump to verse 9 too, because verse 1 actually goes into the whole thing about the man.
Come. Isaiah 32:1. Behold, a king shall reign in righteousness, and princes shall rule in judgment.
Hey, so right there, this lets you know who's supposed to be the rulers. So the king, which is a man, and the princes are what? Young men. We're the ones that's going to be the rulers of the kingdom to come. All right, not you women. And you're seeing a lot of that happening now, especially with Creepy Joe. He putting a whole bunch of women in positions of authority, and not just only women, but he putting so-called black women in positions of authority, man. Which goes to show you the disrespect and the level, that Esau thinks about the so-called black man, or the Israelite man, that they're willing to put our woman over us, man, and which they've been doing, time and time again. It's nothing new.
Right.
That goes back to that serpent and Eve, that friendship, that relationship that they have. Right? You got it.
God. And a man shall be as an hiding place from the wind, and a cupboard from the tempest, as rivers of water in a dry place, as the shadow of a great rock in a weary land.
You can break it down now.
Yeah, so a man is going to be a hiding place from the wind, and ultimately, high temperature winds bring destruction. And the wind that's coming, this destruction that's coming. The only way for a lot of you women to honestly, and the scriptures say it, be saved or be protected, is going to be by Israelite man. And that's going to be, and that's and they're proud right now, but the Lord's going to totally break that proud spirit, and they're going to realize they're really nothing, man. Without an Israelite man, they're really nothing. I'm gonna skip down to verse 9. So like it says, rise up, you women that are at ease. Right. And like the brothers is going into in this article, one of those, baby. It's talking about baby formula and things of that nature. You know, food stamps. Oh my gosh. Food stamps are going to these certain benefits are going to go away. You know, and woman, you are at ease, man. And it says, "Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear to my speech. Many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless woman. For the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come." And that's a part of the vintage failing. What we're reading right now.
Uh,
I bet you the majority of the people in that in the grocery store stealing are women. You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
Hey, and
but
that's pretty. Oh, you got it, brother.
oh no, go ahead, yo. I'm gonna have to. People keep calling me, bro. I'm gonna have to exit out and come right back in. Salakia.
Come on. Hey, like the brother just read, rise up, you women that are at ease. You notice too, it's heavy that the Lord would say that through Isaiah, because what? When you're in a courthouse and the judge comes to before the judge takes his seat, everybody has to rise. It says rise, everybody got to rise.
Mm-hmm.
When you go to the word rise, it means to exert yourself, to put yourself in the forefront. Okay, and it says you women that are at ease, and when you look into the word ease, it means secure. All right, women who are careless, wanton, arrogant. All right, prideful. Okay, so the Lord is basically putting you to the forefront, just like He did with Miriam. Okay, it's the same thing. He's putting you in the forefront, telling you come up to the forefront because you've been at ease, you've been chilling. All right, talking shit, putting yourself over the man. Okay, your Israelite man, and so on and so forth. All right, disregarding everything that the Lord requires of you as a woman, as an Israelite woman to do. All right, you completely disregarded that. So the Lord is saying, okay, since you be talking all that hot shit, I'm here. I'm here to judge the world, like it tells you in Second Ezra, the 9th chapter. Okay, the highest is here to judge the earth which He made, or He visited the earth which He made. So He's saying, what? Rise up and face the judgment. And you women are what? Now you're seeing, all right, the judgment that's coming, and now you're backing up. You're like, oh shit, So that's what that means. The Lord is saying, rise up, come up to the forefront and talk that hot shit that you've been talking. You women, you arrogant, proud women. Okay. I mean, you want us to finish that precept, or
I think that was the last. That was the last. I think. Let me see. Okay. I'll go to it real quick.
God.
Isaiah 32. Verse 9. It says, "Rise up." Let me see if the brother came back. Okay. Salakia, you back?
Oh, good. Yeah. I'm back.
All right. It says, "Rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. Many days and years ye shall be troubled, ye careless women. For the vintage shall fail, and the gathering shall not come. Tremble, ye women that are at ease. Be troubled, ye careless ones. Strip you and make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins. They shall lament for the teats, for the pleasant fields, and for the fruitful vine." Hey, and that's what's happening, man, because that's what food is. The pleasant fields, the teats, the fruitful vine, but they're not able to access these things because even when you go back where they talked about the unemployments, who got hit the hardest was Israelites, of course, and then it said women. So if Israelites got hit the hardest and then women got hit the hardest, that means Israelite women got affected the hardest when it comes to the all these furloughs and all these layoffs. All right, so and on top of that, you have. And right now we in a state where there's not a lot of people that are not together, not a lot of household with multiple incomes in it right now, because you have a divorce at an all-time high, and also on top of that you got adultery at an all-time high and whoredom at an all-time high. So a lot of people don't even want to be in relationships, which causes these single, but they're still having sex, they're still doing those things and still having babies, which is causing a lot of these single parent families. All right, and most of the time here in Babylon, who does the child go to? It goes to the mother. All right, and they have all those federal assistants, your WIC, your SNAP. But when we go into this article, it's telling you that those things are the WIC and the SNAP programs are actually what was the word they used? They're basically not. It's not as much money being given out as it was, before, because the whole government basically is losing money. Mm-hmm. So you trusting in the government, you trusted in the shadow of Egypt, as the scriptures tells you, is going to be to your shame, and it's going to confound you. You know.
And also too, um, these county buildings are starting to shut down too with the shutdown too, and a lot of these women go to the county building for those assistance. I mean, for that assistance. So hey, all you women that got men on child support, that shit's about to be over with soon, man. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, and a lot of women too. They once this pandemic hit real quick, they resorted to like the elder said, prostitution in the form of these OnlyFans pages that they were creating and so on and so forth. Engaging in whoredoms. There was a movie that came out a few months ago on I believe it was Netflix, if I'm not mistaken. It was called Cam Girl. If I don't remember what the specific title. I might go back and look at it, but it was basically females who had these personalities that they be showing themselves with their they do all this makeup and so on and so forth, and then they have the fans online, all right, and then the fans would be like, oh, I'll pay you this, and then they'll do all these crazy sinister shit, this whoredoms and so on and so forth, all right, and then one of them, their account got hacked, and when it got hacked, she pretty much wanted to kill herself because she lost who she is, her personality, her online virtual character was gone. The money making, her survival tactics, everything was gone. So the rest of the movie, she's trying hard to fight against whoever it is that stole her account, so she can get back to who she is, as the fans love her and so on and so forth. So that's going to happen to a lot of these women, man. The Lord's going to take that access of the internet away from you, man. You're not going to be able to. That's why it says you shall lament, because all your abilities, whether it's physically or virtually, is going to be taken away, man. Because the Lord is making a stance. He's making it known that I'm the one who's doing these things, and you're going to turn back to me. All right, that's just what the Most High is going to do. Okay.
God.
So let's get back to this. It says the result is a growing subset of Americans who are stealing food to survive. Okay, shoplifting is up markedly since the pandemic began in the spring, and at higher levels than in past economic downturns, according to interviews with more than a dozen retailers, security experts, and police departments across the country. But what's distinctive about this trend, experts say, is what's been taken. It says more staples like bread, pasta, and baby formula. Okay. And it says, a quote, it says, we're seeing an increase in low impact crimes, said Jeff Sisler, all right, chief executive of Workplace Security Fire. Is it Aegis?
Aegis Khan.
Aegis Khan. Okay. The water. It says, it's not a whole lot of people going in, grabbing TVs and running out the front door. It's a very different kind of crime. It's people stealing consumables and items associated with children and babies.
Hey, and once again, when shit hits the fan, the priorities are in order at that point. People don't care about. Guess what? People ain't caring about TVs because they can't even afford to pay their electricity bill. If they're out here trying to steal baby formula and food, you got to now prioritize what you're able to what bill you're able to pay. And a lot of people say that they're barely making enough to pay their rent. So if you're barely making enough to pay your rent, then you're not paying your electricity bill. And I think they passed a legislative law saying that the electricity companies couldn't turn off your electricity bill. I know they passed it in with the CARES Act, but all these things are actually coming into they actually end at the end of this year. The whole moratorium for the evictions, all right, the extensions for the unemployment, okay, all these different things that they basically told people they didn't have to pay for anymore. That's coming. That's ending at the end of this year. So people thinking that they're looking at 2021 with a bright future. It's only going to get worse, man. So grabbing a TV, that whole Black Friday shit, that's out the door, man. That's out the window.
God. It says, with Americans being advised to brace for a difficult winter, quote unquote, dark winter.
Dark winter.
Right, amid skyrocketing coronavirus infection rates and the economic recovery nearly stalled, the near-term outlook is grim. Okay? Now, real quick, I just wanted to look into the word grim. All right. Grim, the word grim says fierce, cruel, savage, severe, dire, painful. Okay. angry. It says dreary, gloomy. Okay, pretty much dark. You see,
Right.
so they put it out there, man. You know, it says more than 20 million.
Since you said that, let me read that real quick. Zephaniah 1, verse 14. It says, "The great day of the Lord is near. It is near. It hasteneth greatly. Even the voice of the day of Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, the mighty men shall cry there bitterly." So if the mighty man is going to be crying bitterly, how much more for your regular civilians, and how much more for the women? Okay. Verse 15, it says, that day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wasteness and desolation, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness, a day of the trumpet and an alarm against the fenced cities and against the high towers. That's right, man, because America was looked at as a fenced city, a place that can't be, invaded, a place that can't be touched. It's supposed to be the greatest superpower, in the whole world. But what that trumpet and alarm, which is what the prophets have been speaking and chanting down Babylon, man. And now the Lord is bringing these things that He put in our spirits to proclaim against Babylon the Great to fruition. It says, "And I will bring distress upon men, and they shall walk like blind men." All right, how does a blind man walk? Basically unaware, not knowing where they're going. Okay, not knowing what lies ahead of them, and that's exactly the condition of the minds of the people here in Babylon. That's not in the truth of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. They're walking, but they don't know what lies ahead, man. They're believing politicians, these devils, and thinking that, we just got to get through. Well, now you even got these devils saying that shit's about to get worse. They're saying it, man. They're not even trying to really sugarcoat it anymore. The only way they sugarcoat it is really by saying like, I'm next, we just got to get through these next 4 or 5 months. And then, things will start to look better. But then you just have Bill Gates just came out and said what? That he believes that restaurants and bars should be closed all the way up until 2022. Yep. So as the scripture says, man, the keepers of the house shall tremble. All right. Let me get that real quick. Salakia. Ecclesiastes 12, verse where is it at? Right here. 3 it says, "In the days when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened." And that's what it is right there. They're looking out the windows, meaning trying to see, far off or see into the future. But all they see is darkness. All they see is just worse case scenarios.
I got was that it? I got a preset real quick.
Yeah, that was it. I didn't.
This Isaiah 24:7. "The new wine mourneth, the vine languishes, all the merry-hearted do sigh." Hey, it's not a holly jolly Christmas no more. Remember they can't. Hey, they basically, people got to stay in. And when you like driving around, you can see like that spirit of Nimrod Christmas. That shit is gone, man. Everybody's in a state of mourning. We can't go out. We can't do this. We got curfew. Stores are closing earlier. And it says, "The mirth of tabrets ceaseth. The noise of them that rejoice endeth."
Hey, you even had that thing that happened over there in New York City. I think that was either yesterday or 2 days ago. I think it's called St. John's the Divine Church. They was over there Christmas caroling, and then shots rang out, man.
Yeah,
like scattering all over the place. So they couldn't even be in that whole, jolly spirit because death was literally right next to them.
It says, "The joy of the harp ceaseth." Ain't gonna be no Christmas carolers knocking on your door talking about I want to sing you a Christmas carol, man. It says, "They shall not drink wine with a song." Usually when you're drinking, you like to listen to music.
God.
So it says, "They shall not drink wine with a song," man. It's mad bitterness that this place is about to enter into, like the brothers going into that dark winter, man. It's mad. It's a mad dark vibration out here, and these people are under it, man. You know, while they're uh, um mourning, the Lord said that we're going to rejoice, and we're rejoicing right now because we see the end coming.
God.
So it says, strong drink shall be bitter to them that drink it. The city of confusion is broken down. Every house is shut up that no man may come in. There is a crying for wine in the streets. All joy is darkened. That dark winter.
God.
The mirth of the land is gone.
Yeah.
Yo, you'll be lucky if you can go to a fucking restaurant and have some fucking drinks, man, or even go out and buy certain things like we're going into in this article, or either if you're of this world right now, hey man, this place is darkened, man. This is a dark ass place now. It's no, like, you can't do what you want to do no more. Basically, you can't go out to clubs. You can't do this. You can barely even fucking go to somebody's house. With the hey man, the streets are darkened, man. This place is darkened, man. And it's called all Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, man.
Good. Good.
Y'all
Hey.
brothers got it. It's a lot, man.
It says, more than 20 million Americans are on some form of unemployment assistance. 20 million. Okay. It says, and 12 million will run out of benefits the day after Christmas unless new relief materializes. Though lawmakers have made progress this week on a $908 billion bill, details are still being worked out, congressional aides said. Meanwhile, hey, that goes into the teats, man. Hey, this bill thing has been waiting since, I believe, July. That the whole stimulus thing kind of ran out, and Trump was like, we still trying to, Congress is going on recess, and when they come back, we're gonna come back and talk about it, and so on and so forth. Get the people the money, and they dragged that thing out. And then right after the election, Trump said, yo, if you vote for me, I'm gonna give you stimulus checks. And now he ain't coming to power. Now what? So now everybody's still waiting till the end of the year, and they still haven't given you the money, man. And a lot of people are waiting for that money because before the whole stimulus thing happened, people were on like chump change, and then people were living literally. We used to say this all the time. I remember I used to hear the elder Itazwan's voice all the time at camp. People living paycheck to paycheck. I used to hear that every day at camp, man. Paycheck to paycheck, paycheck to paycheck. So that paycheck to paycheck was the job that you had, $15 an hour, $16 an hour. The whole thing hit. There's no more jobs, so the money's not coming in no more. Stimulus check that was helping you kind of like survive a little bit here and there is also gone. So what you gonna do now? Yep. It says, meanwhile, an estimated 54 million Americans will struggle with hunger this year, a 45% increase from 2019. So that means that this thing was happening back 2019, and then now it's adding onto it. It says, according to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, with food aid programs like SNAP and WIC being reduced.
That's it right there. With food aid programs like SNAP and WIC being reduced. Why is it being reduced? Hey, taxes are going up. This is funded by tax money. So why are these things being reduced, man? And that goes back to the scripture in the book of Habakkuk, where it says that they have laden themselves with thick clay. Babylon, and that thick clay meaning debts. Babylon is in so much debt that how do they try to reduce the debt that they're in? By taking away federal programs that assist the people. They're not going to cut the president's paycheck. They're not going to cut the Congress paycheck. No, they're going to take away federal programs that actually assist the people that rely on them. All right, and them reducing these programs in the midst of an economic crisis goes to show you that they are strategically destroying this economy, man. The whole Great Reset, you wouldn't reduce a federal program, food aid program, when you got millions of people that are struggling with hunger. Where you got one out of 8 people say that they don't have enough food to feed their families. All right? Where you have this unprecedented amount of people that are on food bank lines. Why would you reduce these programs? Once again, it shows you that they're doing these things so that they can basically break the people to the point where when they come in with that solution, that problem reaction solution, they come in with that solution, which is going to be that chip. People are going to be in desperate and dire need to the point where they're going to take it, man.
Right. Hey, and that's why this man is called the deceiver that deceiveth the whole world. You know, because that, hey, order out of chaos, man. You know, look, we got a new solution right here. If you want these benefits, you have to take this digital currency, which is on a chip. You know, you got to take this because hey, a lot of this these vaccines rolling out, you know, it's gonna affect a lot of people that are on these programs because they're gonna say, well, you have to have proof of your child's vaccination, you know, in order to continue to receive these benefits. And for the ones that rebel, guess what? You know, hey, if they don't take them, they're not going to receive those benefits, man. You know.
Yep.
Good. Continuing, it says, with food aid programs like SNAP and WIC being reduced and other federal assistance on the brink of expiration, food banks and pantries are being inundated, reporting hours-long waits and lines that stretch into the thousands.
Hey, so going to this word, inundated, it says overwhelmed. So it says overwhelm someone with things or people to be dealt with. It says a flood. Okay, so that's what's happening to these food banks. That's what's happening to these food banks. They're being overran or overwhelmed. All right, and we got the chief. He works at a food bank, and he says he even talks about it. How you got people waiting in lines for hours, man. 4, 5, 6, 7 hours. I seen one video where they said that people was waiting. I forgot exactly where it was at. I don't know if it was in either Texas or New York. Texas, they had people waiting in line for 12 hours, man. Now imagine waiting in line for 12 hours and it gets to, you get up towards the front and then they say that we ran out of food. What do you think the mindset of people are? Because remember, people are not only in those lines for themselves, they're in their lines for their family members as well, you know? And these Babylonians are not equipped first and foremost mentally or spiritually, all right, which taps into the mental, all right, to handle this type of adversity, man. All right. America is known for convenience. It's known for fast food. It's known for I want it, I'll get it. You know, there's no patience in this place, man. Why do you think you see so many people going crazy during Black Friday? All right. When there's a blowout sale, you know, people don't like to wait. So and those are things that once again that are not necessities. How much more when things that they need that they're not going to be willing to wait for, man. Which the scriptures tells you that's how people are going to, you know, they're going to snap and they're going to, you know, ransack their neighbors' houses for food.
Come on, hey, and you could see how this thing is progressing. Hey, like I see the elder Second Esdras, we might pull that up. See how this thing is progressing. That the winter time is going to be freezing as hell. All right, imagine if gas prices shoot up because of this whole Iran thing going on. Okay, so gas prices might go up because of that. Okay, and now you have to join long lines. You don't have your car to have your heat on. Okay, because gas price is crazy. Nobody can afford it. Okay, so you have to join long lines on foot. Okay, in the freezing cold. How are people gonna have to deal with that type of shit? Maybe you might have to be with your child. You know, you might have to be with a couple of family members, and then people might look at you and be like, "Yo, I'm not standing in this line for too long. I'm about to take whatever you got. You know, I'm gonna just stay in the cut somewhere, make you stand there for 12 hours. As soon as you finish getting your food, I'm gonna corner you somewhere, grab your food, and I'm out of here." You know, so these are things that's about to come because the scriptures say it, and we're about to get it right now.
Hey, how much more for I was going back into women being taken, you know, at that point. They're not gonna be able to defend themselves, even though you did have in 2020, and this is how you know all hell is about to break loose. Like 2021 is going to be a legit. I believe through the spirit. And I know brother can testify. It's gonna be something that we never experienced. And I'm talking about compared to 2020. 2020 is gonna look like a cakewalk compared to 2021, man. You had 2020 be the highest level of people registering for guns, you know, in America, man. You know, they had men and women. They said it was the highest level of people purchasing, you know, firearms, man, because of situations like this. So let's read it. You break it down, Aaron, if you want. Second Esdras chapter, I'm starting at 14. Second Esdras chapter 15, verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. For the sword in their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands.
God, and that's a prophecy that Yahushua spoke about too. We brought it out in the earlier precepts. We didn't really read it in Matthew 24. All right, but he talks about what people against people. Okay, and we seen it now. You go, there's a lot of these MAGA riots and so on and so forth. It just happened to be that right before this this venomous potion was being brought out. All right, right on schedule, right before the end of the year, heading towards what they've been deeming the dark winter. You have people rioting and fighting each other now. They had, I believe, somebody got shot in the face, okay, by a police officer. So it's speeding up. The days are speeding up, and people, because the it says what sword, like the elder just said, people the gun purchases is rising. Okay, the modern day sword is the gun, but ultimately the sword is what? The missiles. Okay, it says, and their destruction draweth nigh. Okay, and one people shall stand up and fight against another. You're going to have so-called blacks against blacks. You're going to have so-called blacks against Latinos. You're going to have so-called blacks against so-called white people. You're going to have so-called Asians against so-called whites. And black. It's going to be all hell breaking loose all at the same time. Okay, you're not going to have people to trust. Okay, you're going to have family members fighting against each other, man, in the same household. Okay, whether it's because of the vaccination that's coming out. Okay, people saying, look, I'm not going to be paying no fines because you want to be in this house and not get venomized. Okay, all these different things. So it's going to be a legit a division. Okay, in this country, man, and around the world. Okay, it says, and swords in their hands, meaning weapons. Okay, so if you outside and somebody stops you and be like, yo, bro, stop right there. You walking by yourself, you got food in your hands or whatever. You better be on some low key shit. If you stop, yo, I stopped. I went grocery shopping. My car, I'm taking my stuff and putting it in my car. Somebody might surround your car and be like, yo, pass all that shit. What you gonna do then? Hold you at gunpoint. What are you gonna do then? You gonna call the cops? You're not. You know? It says what? For there shall be sedition among men. Okay, or you wanna get into that part, or we just want to stop over the top?
Oh, no, I want to actually jump down to verse 19. Verse 18. Says, for because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. And a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Hey, I'll say this real quick. You know, and it says I shall have no pity upon his neighbor, because this is why a lot of people right now, they think that, oh, you know, you wouldn't do this or don't do this. You know, I just want to feed my family. They're thinking that people are going to have that mindset of feeling bad, you know, so that they won't rob you. Or a woman, for instance, will say, I'm just a woman. I have my baby. You know, do this and that. That people that you have a gang, you know, people that's going to form gangs. And I talk about the Bloods and Crips, talking about these, you know, regular 4 or 5 people get together and, you know, they just start going through our cities and different neighborhoods and ransacking them. They're not going to regard the fact that you're a woman. All right. They're not going to regard the fact that you are a wealthy executive. OK, they're not going to regard the fact that you're old or that you're young. They said that they should have no pity upon his neighbor, because when push comes to shove, you know, you want to do whatever you feel necessary in order to survive. What did Malcolm X say? By any means necessary. That's what people are going to. That's what's going to be in people's minds, man. Survival mode. So that's what it says. But they shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods. You know, they're not destroying their houses because they're looking for you know gold and or looking, you know, try to steal your TV or start to steal your iPad or your MacBook. No, it says what? Because of lack of bread. That's what people are going to be ransacking houses for. That's what people are going to have no pity upon their neighbor for. Because when you're hungry, all you can think about is a way to feed yourself. You know, people, I think they say it takes 3 days for people to become, I don't want to say psychos, but like basically it takes 3 days of not eating for people for their mental capacity to basically be compromised to the point where all they can think about is being able to feed themselves. And that's why, you know, us being in this truth, that's why Yahweh said, what? A man shall not live on bread alone, but by every word of the Most High. You know, because we, through the Spirit, you know, even with the fasting, but we through the Spirit have, you know, prepared ourselves for a case where we might not be able to eat for 2 or 3 or 4 days. You know, and we know that the Lord will sustain us. But these people in Babylon, they're not equipped like that, man.
And also, Oh,
So
sorry.
like,
Just
no, you
want
got it.
just want to put some context, all right, to that verse in 19. It says, "A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor." Now, when you look into the word pity, it says compassion, kindness, generosity of spirit, okay, disposition to mercy, quality of being merciful, okay. It says a feeling of sympathy, a
Con-
feeling.
I have it up here. I don't know if you got that same one, but you go ahead. My
Oh,
bad.
I had the one on the online etymology one.
Okay, yeah, because right here it says the feeling of sorrow and compassion caused by sufferings or misfortunes of others.
That's
That's
it.
not, you're not gonna have that. But my
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah, Khan, just want to that's beautiful. It says the feeling of sorrow and compassion caused by the suffering and misfortunes of others. So going back to what? Desperate times call for desperate measures. What is every man for himself? It's basically like a Royal Rumble of survival. Okay. It says what? A feeling of sympathy and compassion aroused by the sorrow or suffering of another. So I'm looking at what you're going through, but listen, bro, my situation is worse than yours. So whatever you're going through, you have to figure it out. And if I see that you have something better than me, I'm taking that with me. You know what I'm saying? When you go, Slack, you can get back to the precept real quick.
Uh,
When you look up the word spoil, okay, it says but they shall, it says, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods. The word spoil says what? To strip someone of clothes. Strip, it says strip a slain enemy. So people who are going to be dead in the streets, you're going to see people looting, people grabbing them up, taking their clothes off. Ah, he got some sneakers. Let me take that. Okay, he got where his keys at, his car's right. Let me grab that. You know, it says what? To strip, to plunder, to pillage. Okay, to strip, to uncover, to lay bare. Strip of clothing, to rob, to plunder, to pillage. Okay, it says arms taken from an enemy. Okay, booty. Okay, it says hide, skin stripped from a killed animal. Okay, it says to strip with violence. Okay, so this is what the scripture is saying. You
mm-hmm.
know, you can see that we're in the prelims. Everything is building up. It's going to culminate to that moment where it's going to be all hell breaking loose and no breaks. Like it says, I forget the precept where it says, "A man shall you're gonna run from a lion and you be met with a bear, you know, then you run the one, and then your hands is on the wall, and then you get bit by a snake." So meaning what? There'll be no breaks. Everywhere you trying to go for an escape route, you're not gonna find anything, man. There'll be no rest for your perils, and you're running. You're gonna keep on constantly running around looking for a way to escape your trials and tribulations, man. You know, but you got it, brother.
I got that for you right here. This is Amos chapter 5,
The water.
18. I'm gonna start at 18. Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. It says, to what end is it for you? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light, as if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him, or went into the house and leaned his hand on the wall and a serpent bit him. You break it down, not you got it.
God, yeah. So go to that precept. What you might you flee from a lion, which is a fierce animal, okay, and then what you thought you escaped, and then a bear met you while you were fleeing the lion. So you're running from one thing. Maybe it might be the troops, okay. Maybe it might be a family member who's coming after you. Maybe it might be a friend who's turning on you. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it might be, okay. And then you went into the house, meaning you found a place where like, okay, maybe it might be safe here. Let me just hide here for a second. And then next thing you know, somebody's in the corner like, what are you doing here? With a 12 gauge looking at you like, what you got? You know what I'm saying? So you're not going to find that escape or that comfort no matter what you do, as long as you're here in America, man, especially here in America. Okay. Especially now they have a whole bunch of surveillance cameras everywhere now. You're going to be found. You know what I'm saying? They're going to find you, you know?
And with this precept, this parable,
Hmm.
they all what does all these three animals have in common? They're all animals that can inflict pain until death. You know, it's not like saying like, oh, you ran from a lion and then you know a cat met you. No, you ran from one thing that is deadly to another thing that is deadly, and then you escaped that thing, and then you went into a house, and the house represents a place where you thought like, all right, because the house represents a place of aid or a place of security. So when you think you're in security, you think you're in a safe place. You lean your hand on the wall, and then you get actually your in your security you get destroyed because that serpent bit you. So it's like no matter what you're running from, you're always going to be running to something else that is deadly, and that's the day of the Lord, man. That's the times that we're entering into. You're not going to be able to escape the wrath that the Lord is bringing, because the Lord is bringing the wrath with death angels. And then the scripture tells us in the book of Ecclesiasticus that they appeased the wrath of him that made them. So these death angels, they are willing and wanting to, and will do it with fervency to appease the wrath of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai.
Hey, and I was thinking too, like when you were talking about the food and how these, these American citizens, these people out here that, they're used to being gluttonous, man. Every time you drive through to a fast food spot, the line is fucking around the corner. Even when that Popeye's chicken sandwich shit came out, they were fighting because the shit ran out of them in the fucking in the fast food restaurant. So, and then Esau, he pumps certain things into these foods to make people's minds want to have them even more. So in the drop of a famine coming, in a drop of, oh, there's no more food. That's why a lot of people went crazy in the grocery stores when this thing started happening. Oh, food, their mind is always on gluttony, man. It's always on, I gotta have an abundance of food. I gotta eat 3 times a day. American citizens have no discipline. So when this famine actually gets to its peak, these people, it's gonna be people that's gonna be killing because they ain't ate in an hour, man. These motherfuckers wake up in the middle of the night and want to snack. So how much more, when the famine is in full effect, it's gonna be crazy.
And also too, your mind is a very beautiful thing too, because the Lord has it where I could speak and brothers can attest to it. Nowadays I eat once a day. And it's because our minds is on prophecy. Your mind is so busy, you're not even thinking about food. You looking at, okay, this is happening, this is this. Let me bring this out, send this to the chat, do this. So your mind is always constantly moving. You're not even thinking about food, man. You look at the time, you're like, oh shit, it's 6 already, 6 p.m. already? Damn, it's already dark. Oh shit, all right, what we gonna eat? You make a small little food and you can't even finish the plate. You put it in the fridge for tomorrow, you continue, So the Lord is literally doing that for his men. Meanwhile, the world is out here struggling, thinking about, damn, this pandemic though, ain't no food. What we thinking about? They're gonna kick into that cannibalistic mindset. Like you said, these fast foods, I did research on that too. They put a lot of these ingredients that they take, then they put human remains in these foods and mix it in together. So you be eating the food, that's why it's always coated. They have the breaded chicken, they have the this, so all these things are hidden inside that food, and you take a bite, you don't even know what you're eating, man. And people being conditioned to get acclimated to eating human flesh, and you don't even know about it. So when the time comes, you see somebody else, you be like, yo, that's good meat. I might have to eat that. You might be looking at your family members as food to eat, like it says in the scriptures. A woman will say, oh, let's eat your son today, and tomorrow we eat my son. That's what's going to be happening here in America, man. Something that's never been seen before.
Hey, and that's true, like, because that eating once a day stuff, man, because like brother Atazwan say, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word of the Most High. Sometimes I get up in the morning, all I do is scroll down YouTube all day. I scroll down YouTube for 5-6 hours, man, and be like, oh shit, I ain't ate shit today. Like, I gotta get some food, what I mean? Because you ain't gonna scroll down all day, but it's too much stuff happening, and you want to be there not to miss it. So it's like, yo, you get up and you be like, man, then you do your lesson, and you might eat after you do your lesson or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'll be in the same spirit, bro, eating like one time a day, and then like even when I eat, the second time of the day, it don't really be much.
Right. Right.
Yeah, same.
All right, continue. It says several federal food programs that have provided billions of dollars in fresh produce, dairy, and meat to U.S. food banks also are set to expire at the end of the year.
And that's what a lot of people are relying on right now, these food banks.
It says the largest among them, the Farmers to Families Food Box, has provided more than 120 million food boxes during the pandemic and is already running out of funding in many parts of the country. It says, with the United States now registering more than 150,000 new CVS cases a day, some communities are reintroducing restrictions in an effort to contain the virus. Okay, it says most of California is now under strict stay-at-home orders. For example, while states including Nevada, Maryland, and Pennsylvania have issued new indoor occupancy limits. Such orders tend to hit already vulnerable workers in low-wage service jobs in restaurants, retail, and bars the hardest.
And who
And
are
this,
those service people? Those are the Israelites, the ones that are working in those positions. Mainly Israel.
that's it, Jacob's trouble. It says in Maryland, Jean was successfully juggling college and a job, and had just bought her first car when the pandemic crushed down like a sneaker wave. Okay, so all of a sudden, right? It says her son's daycare center suddenly closed in April, forcing her to give up her $15 an hour job as a receptionist. But quitting meant she didn't qualify for unemployment benefits. She said she was not.
Damn, Salaki, I had to love it. Damn, like you had to quit your job. Yeah, because when you quit your job, you don't qualify for unemployment because you quit.
Uh, uh,
Hey, and a lot of people were in this predicament, in this situation. A lot of these single parent mothers had to do this because they couldn't. Because their daycares shut down, and they didn't have nobody to watch out for their child, so they had to quit. So it's not just she's one in hundreds and thousands of people that are like this, man. So that just goes to show you also that the unemployment rate that they're giving us is not even a real unemployment rate.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. It's only given for you to survive. It says but quitting meant she didn't she qualified for unemployment benefits. She says that she was denied food stamps at least 3 times and gave up on local food banks because of the lines. It says, with no stimulus aid and her savings gone by May, Jean said she was out of options. So she began sneaking food into her son's stroller at the local Walmart. She said she would take things like ground beef, rice, or potatoes, but always pay for something small like a packet of M&Ms. Each time, she'd tell herself that God would understand.
Hey, you see how people try to justify. They justify their wickedness, but they don't ever try to change their wickedness. You know, and this right here, for instance, it's like, you know, you're in this position because of the wickedness that you were doing, and now you're doing something that you feel like you had like, because like even in the scriptures, there was a law against somebody, you know, that was poor, and they would, you know, that they couldn't afford, you know, their own things. That's why we wouldn't gather all of our crops. We would leave the outside for the homeless, so that they would come and basically steal it, and it wouldn't really be a stealing. It would be like a welfare, you know, program for the Israelites, you know. But she's saying that the Most High will understand, but guess who's not going to understand? Esau not going to understand. He ain't going to give a damn if he catch you.
God.
That's why she's on this article.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
God. It says, quote unquote, I used to think if I get in trouble, I would say, look, I'm sorry. I wasn't stealing a television, but I didn't know what else to do. It wasn't malicious. We were hungry, said Jean, 21, who asked to be identified by her middle name to discuss her situation freely. It's not something I am proud of, but it's what I had to do.
Hey, and that's what goes back to what we were saying about by any means necessary.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people are going to be doing things that they're not necessarily proud of, but they don't have any pity. Like this woman, she doesn't have any pity. She said before, like she never stole like that before, but she had no pity because of the great tribulation and because of the lack of bread. You know, right now it's not really affecting people on the individual level. Like she's stealing from a company or from a grocery store, but it's going to get to the point where these grocery stores, because as we going to read, these grocery stores are starting to hire more uniformed security guards.
Mm-hmm.
So them trying to steal food can actually now put their lives on the line. Because it's not just, you know, you just trying to get past a camera. Now you got to get past somebody that is actually got a license to shoot your ass if you get caught stealing.
Right.
God. It says tracking retail losses. It says retailers have historically been most concerned about staff when it comes to what they call shrink. All right. Workers are typically behind about a quarter of the $25 billion in global losses reported each year, a category that includes lost merchandise, stolen cash, and employee errors, security experts say. Okay, it says that changed with the pandemic as customer shoplifting became more pronounced, especially in areas with high joblessness, said Fabian Tibers, chief executive of Compliant IA, which provides loss prevention software to retailers. There is a well-known historical correlation between unemployment and theft, he said, a connection that is more entrenched in the United States than in countries with more robust safety nets like Canada and Australia. It says Dollar Tree and Family Tree, which often are concentrated in low-income areas, have seen increasing instances of theft during the past year, according to spokesman Kaylee Painter. She declined to share.
And that's Jake, man.
Mhm.
Who the only Esau goes to Dollar Tree and Family Dollar and stuff like that sometimes, but you see how it always revolves around targeting the low income. Who are the low people in the low incomes?
Go ahead.
Israelites, man.
That's right. That's right. It says she declined to share specific data or protocols, but said the company is continually evaluating and enhancing on-premise security and surveillance systems, as well as our associate training. It says in Philadelphia, reports of retail theft jumped about 60% year over year, just after President Trump declared a national emergency in March because of the pandemic. They remained at elevated levels through at least July, according to local police data. All right. It says, though shoplifting tends to spike during national crisis, it jumped 16% after the September 11, 2001 attacks and 34% after the 2008 recession, according to the National Association for Shoplifting Prevention, which tracks data from U.S. courts. The current trend line is skewing even higher, according to Reed Hayes, a criminologist at the University of Florida and the director of the Loss Prevention Research Council. Hayes has been tracking theft since the coronavirus began sweeping across the United States in March, and has phone calls with the leaders of 60 major retail chains every other week to help them prevent losses. Most reports of retail theft have been anecdotal. All right, he said, and even 10 months into the pandemic, it's too early to know the full scope. "Quote unquote, we believe there is some increase in people who, because of COVID-19, are not able to pay for the items," Hayes said. It sort of maintained that there may be a slight uptick in need-based stuff, but it's really difficult to tease that out. All right. It says in Virginia, Sloan, 28, says she has been dropping avocados, mushrooms, and other fresh produce into her bag without paying for them since September.
Now you got to remember, these are everyday average citizens, man. These ain't no highly criminal den of thieves type of people. All right, these are just regular citizens that you'll walk up the street and you would never even know that they're now petty criminals. They're criminals.
Sure.
What basically is happening here is they're becoming everyday citizens are becoming criminals. Whether you want to say it, it's because they have to, or it's because it's not really that much. No, people are criminals now, according to the law of a law of the land.
It says she worries constantly about getting caught and takes only a couple of items at a time. So it's a strategic effort. It says, quote unquote, but when you're eating cheap meals every day, sometimes it's nice to have an avocado to spice things up for one night, she said.
That's just going to show you the decadency of Babylon, man. That you're stealing avocados having to spice things up for your meals, man. Hey, call y'all about Shai, man, because it's that. Let me get that real quick. That Babylon is falling, man. Jeremiah 51. This is a prime example of Babylon falling, because remember, all right, Isaiah 14, it tells us what? How has the golden city ceased? How has that city ceased? The golden city ceased, man. Because you would think that this would never happen in America. People were stealing avocados and mushrooms to spice up their meals. Come on, man. But this has happened within a matter of what? What is it? 9 months now. 9 months. Okay. And it's only, once again, they're doing a shutdown all over again now, which is going to only, perpetuate the pains that people were going through before. So it's going to have more and more people are going to be in this mindset. Jeremiah 51 verse. I just go straight to the point. Verse 8. It says Babylon. Actually, I'm gonna go to 6 and I'm gonna jump. It says, "Flee out of the midst of Babylon. Deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of Yahweh's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense." Okay, and we are fleeing out of the midst of Babylon mentally, man, because we know that we have to wait upon Yahweh Shai to deliver us out of here physically, but we're not in the mind state of these Babylonians, man. You know, we're just right now, we're just prisoners of war. Okay, we're in captivity, so we're waiting for our deliverer to take us out of this place. But this is how we deliver our soul so that we won't be cut off in her iniquity, because it's clearly being seen that the Lord is judging Babylon and these Babylonians for their iniquity. All right, I'm gonna jump to verse 8. It says, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. All right, and Babylon is mainly known for what? It's economic superiority, and that is what is being suddenly fallen and destroyed. You know, Babylon, this place is a corporation. But this corporation is going out of business just like that. So it says, "How for her, take balm for her pain, if so she may be healed." We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. And this is a prime example of this place not being healed. The fact that people are resorting to stealing, avocados, mushrooms, packets of ground beef, baby formula. Okay, that is showing you that this place is not healed, because the people, just like how Jerusalem is the people before it's a place, Babylon is a people before it's a place too, because the mindset of Babylonians are here in America, all right, in the land that we're in. So if the people of Babylon are in a place that they can't be healed, that's going to do what? That's going to actually destroy the whole societal functioning of America, of Babylon. So it says, "Forsake her, let us go everyone into his own country. For her judgment reacheth unto heaven and is lifted up even unto the skies." So yeah, that's it.
That's right.
I got a precept real quick. Was that it on the article? That was it, huh?
I think there's a little bit more in the article. We're not going to read the whole thing, but I think we're going to read this last. We want to read up to, this is a little bit more.
So
go ahead, bro.
Continue.
Yeah.
Okay. Come on. It says, Sloan, who asked to be identified by only her first name to avoid potential prosecution, worked in the food industry until the pandemic upended her job. Her partner, who worked in retail, was furloughed for months, then quit in August because it no longer felt safe going back to work. But the resignation meant no unemployment benefits. It says, quote unquote, "Things are bad. We're late on bills. We're late on rent. Our car is 9 days away from being repossessed." It says, I'm used to being very self-sufficient, and it's an awful feeling to suddenly be so desperate.
Damn.
Desperate.
It says, like others interviewed by the Washington Post, Sloan said she tends to target major chains because they're better able to absorb the losses than small businesses.
Hey, the small businesses, they're running out of they're because of the whole shutdown, they're being forced to close up shop too.
And it's funny too, because she's not the only one with that mindset. She's saying that she's going target. Sloan says she tends to target major chains because they're better able to absorb the losses than small businesses.
Yeah,
so she's putting that energy out there. What do you think other people are going to do? Be like, "Oh, you getting away with it? I'm gonna do it too."
Hey,
so a chain reaction.
Yep, and that's why the next paragraph is going to say what it says.
It says, like others interviewed. I got that. It says, Park of Capital Supermarket in Washington, D.C., for example, said he briefly considered hiring ununiformed security guards to ward against theft, but decided it was too costly for the family-run business, which already has had to cut more than half its staff during the pandemic.
So these small businesses, they can't hire security guards because they're barely, surviving. But who can hire security guards? Your Whole Foods, your ShopRites, Half-Marks, your Stop and Shops, your Targets, your Walmarts.
Yep.
Understanding, because they're seeing people, as she just said, targeting these big companies. So these devils, they're not going to just let that slide, knowing that people are stealing. So now what are they going to do? Now you're going to start seeing people, security guards, and then ultimately it's going to get to where it's going to be the military, All right, outside of your WalMarts, outside of your Stop and Shops, things of that nature.
Gone. It says, my distrust has gone up since I see people shoplifting every day, he said. I watch the security cameras a lot more often. If we let too many people steal, we'll have to close. It says,
Damn.
it says because
Damn.
tracking is spotty, shoplifting is chronically underreported, according to more than a dozen local police departments and sheriff's offices contacted by the Post. Very few monitor and report. Very few monitor and report shoplifting data publicly, and those that do often don't keep tabs on what types of items are stolen. It says some store managers said they've stopped calling the police for small instances of shoplifting because it's not worth the time or resources, particularly when store employees are it says also are juggling new responsibilities such as temperature checks and enforcing mask requirements.
Hey, and because they say they don't call the police, I believe it was in Florida where they was trying to push a legislative law, the governor basically saying that small businesses owners are now allowed to use force.
Yes.
People that they see that loitering or trying to steal from their businesses.
Looting, con.
Yeah, there you go, looting from their businesses. So now that does what? That puts the responsibility of what they call like the policing now into the hands of the citizens. So even if you suspect somebody for stealing, you can shoot them. So now you have these different owners of these businesses going to be just shooting Jake. They could be shooting Jake or shooting whoever if they suspect, I should say, that them were trying to steal something, man. So unless they do steal something, or they still was some M&Ms or something like that. Now you're gonna get shot and killed, and the person who kills you is gonna get away with it because now there's a law saying that hey, you can defend your property or your business if somebody tries to loot it.
God.
Hey, and that's a spirit that you say that because I forgot where it was, but when they were actually looting in the cities for what was that dude died something? Yeah, George Floyd. There were certain store owners that they were standing outside with shit, fucking rifles, man. Guns. Like, yo, anybody try to come up in here, and like you said, that's just self-will stuff to protect the store. So what about when it becomes like, hey, a law like, hey, defend your store by any means necessary from looters and thieves.
Hey, just like in the movie the Purge, I believe it was Purge election year, if I'm not mistaken. It's either Purge election year or Purge Anarchy. You had that Jake. He was he owned not a grocery store, a convenience store, and him and his employee, they was basically on top of the roof, defending their store from them women, that gang of women that try to come in there and basically rob them and shit. So that's what shit's about to happen, man. You about to be living in real life purge anarchy, purge election year, the first purge, all these purges, man. America's about to be this one big purge.
Yep, that's it. That's heavy. That's beautiful. I was literally about to say that same thing you just said. That's heavy. It says, but many are taking additional precautions. Demand for ununiformed security guards and undercover loss prevention experts has risen 35% during the pandemic, according to Zisner of Aegis. All right, it says growing food insecurity. You want me to read this whole thing, or you want specific spots?
Let's see. Yeah, just all right, just read up until where it says Whole Food did not respond for requests for comments.
Okay, fine. It says growing food insecurity. It says nearly 26 million adults, or 1 in 8 Americans, reported not having enough food to eat as of mid-November, according to the latest data from the Census Bureau. It says that figure has climbed steadily during the pandemic and has hit record highs since the government agency began collecting such data in 1998. We're supposed to be the greatest, richest country in the world, and we don't have safety nets for when something like this happens.
Hey, and what's that? Let's get that real quick. So I get Isaiah 14, verse 4. It says, Thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how has the oppressor ceased? the golden city ceased. So that's what people in their mind looked at America as being this greatest, richest country in the world. But this is what this is where it's come to. All right, Isaiah 47 chapter, also 47 verse 1. But this is another scripture, real quick. Revelation 18 verse 7. How much she has glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. Speaking about Babylon, for she said in her heart, I sit a queen and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire, for strong is Yahweh power who judgeth her.
God. And that's the ultimate judgment for America. After all this purge that's going to happen is going to be culminated with an ultimate sacrifice, man.
Yep.
All right. Continue. It says what? Said Danielle Nierenberg, the president and founder of Food Tank, a nonprofit organization focused on food equity and sustainability. Quote unquote, people are being forced to steal when they shouldn't have to, and that's a great American tragedy. It said Alex graduated with a master's degree in May and was immediately in a bind. No job, no money, and with much of the country still shut down, little hope that anything would change.
Yep.
Well. So going into that, people going to school, people used to think that, oh, yeah, I went to school, I got a degree, I can get a job, this and that, and the third. Now, somebody who just graduated with a master's degree, not a bachelor's, not an associate, but a master's degree, she can't even get a job, man. Yep. You know what I'm saying? So they literally crumbling everything, man. Yep. It says, and we used to say this all the time, that your degrees are not going to matter in them days. It says she'd spent most of her $1,200 stimulus check on rent and used that little she had left to buy groceries. Everything else, vitamins, moisturizer, body wash, she said she shoplifted from a Whole Foods market a few miles from her apartment in Chicago.
Now, this is a master MD having a master's degree, MD having a woman, man. Somebody you would put in the high esteem, a high accolades, whatever. She probably boasted around talking about, oh, yeah, I got my master's, this, and that. And she over here stealing body wash, moisturizers from. She's a petty criminal, man.
Hey, Mozart is making mockery out of this place, man.
That's right, man.
It was like, quote unquote, it was like I could spend $10 to get a couple of vegetables, or I could spend $10 on just a box of tampons. Said Alex 27, who.
Hey, what did we say, man? When that time comes, these women gonna be stinking, man, because they still got to deal with that monthly flow. Okay, but if they don't got no money to buy tampons, it's gonna come a point in time where, and it's gonna be harder to steal because they're gonna make different, have these security guards and things of that nature. So what's she gonna do then? They be out here smelling.
Gone. It says, who asked to be? It says, a box of tampons, said Alex 27, who asked to be identified by her middle name to speak candidly. She said she has a job now earning $15 an hour, but still struggles to make ends meet. She says she continues to shoplift, something she'd never done before the pandemic, every few weeks. It says she says she moves through the store mostly unnoticed. Usually, she said she picks up a few bulky vegetables, a bunch of kale, maybe a few avocados. To disguise the pricier items, she slips into her bag at the self-checkout.
Hey, no, why she said that she moves unnoticed because she's more than likely an Edomite woman. 7-year-old Edomite woman, that probably carries herself, not like these trailer park trash women, trailer park Edomites. So they're not expecting her to be a shoplifter, so she can get away with it easier than you Israelites. But you Israelites are not gonna be able to move through the store unnoticed, man. They show you that in these movies all the time. The Asian spots, hurry up and buy, following you throughout the store. So you trying to do this, you're not gonna get away with it. It's not gonna be as easy for you to do this and as easy as these Edomites are doing, man.
It says, there you go. It says, quote unquote, I don't feel much guilt about it, she said. It's been very frustrating to be part of a class of people who is losing so much right now, and then to have another class who is profiting from the pandemic. Well, let's just say I don't feel too bad about taking $15 or $20 worth of stuff from Whole Foods when Jeff Bezos is the richest man on earth. So see, she's trying to justify the fuck shit that she's doing. She's trying to justify by comparing herself to what these elites are actually doing. You know? It says Bezos is the founder and chief executive of Amazon, which owns Whole Foods. It says he owns all. It says he also owns the Washington Post.
Which I didn't know that.
Yeah, Khan. Real quick.
Hey, is this a Edomite woman saying this?
Yeah, Khan.
Hey, you know what this goes to prove? She's a two-time loser.
Mm.
Yep.
Hey, I wanted to bring out this this math that I was doing. All right, it's funny that Jeff Bezos' name came up. I used him as the example in the math that I was doing. That it takes literally, I have it here. It says 1 million seconds equals 11.5 days. 1 billion seconds equals 32 years. If I gave, let's just use our Charlesworth, for example, right? If I gave you $5,000, all right, for you to become a millionaire, I have to give you $5,000 every single day for 6 months. You become a millionaire. For you to become a billionaire, I have to give you $5,000 every single day for 547 years. For you to become a billionaire.
That's just 1 billion.
1 billion. This household here is worth $185 billion. God
damn.
His wife got divorced. When he got divorced from his wife, she got settled for $40 billion. This for being the wife alone. And the Earth's population is about $7.8 billion. If you distribute about, was it $8 billion to $10 billion of that money to the whole Earth's population, every single person on this Earth will have about $24 million in their account right now. That's how much money they got.
That's crazy, man. We used to always say, man, these elites, they can end poverty with a flick of the wrist, man. Just writing a check, they can end poverty, you know. But in order for them to be elites, the elitists, they have, you need. I forgot. It was one of my classes back when I was in college. In a capitalistic society, in order for a capitalistic society to run and maintain, it needs the poor. You know, it needs the poor people in order for it to actually run and maintain. Just like that movie, Snowpiercer. I don't know if you have seen that movie, Snowpiercer, but you had a lot of people in the back. It was like a train, whatever. That in each part of the train, each cart in the train was like the further to the front, the higher the classes were. So people in the poor class, and when you had somebody from the front, but somebody from the back, he fought his way up to the front, and he basically sat down with the operator of the train, and he was like, "Yo, like we need y'all to do what y'all who y'all are and be who y'all are in order for everybody else to basically function, you know, properly." So that's why this capitalist society is such a wicked society, such wickedness, because it thrives off of the poor, which is who, the Israelites, being in this position. That's why no matter what, you Israelites are always, these devils are always going to keep you on the bottom, because in order for them to stay where they're at, they need a poor class. And who they going to have as a poor class is the Israelites. That's why you would never have, oh, we're going to have a seat at the table and Israelites and Edomites, we're all just going to be rich together. No, man. It's not going to happen like that. That's why even in our kingdom, you're going to have you Edomites are going to be the poor class. No?
The working class. Right. Yep. It says Bezos is the founder and chief executive of Amazon, which owns Whole Foods. He also owns the Washington Post. It says Whole Foods did not respond to requests for comment.
Yeah. So we get into there. You know, just another next paragraph, just another example.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I got a scripture right here. We just get a couple scriptures. We can end it off. Psalms chapter 59, verse 19. It says, "Let them wander up and down for meat, and grudge if they be not satisfied." And that's what is happening, man. These people are in that state of grudging, okay, because they're not being able to be satisfied with the amount of food that is necessary for them to be satisfied, because they can't afford it. So now they're wandering up and down. They go into these big time stores that we just read, and they're going there with the intent on stealing from these places, you know. And as we was reading, these stores, they're catching on. They see, because it's all about the bottom line for Esau. I mean, it's all about the dollar. So if they're seeing that their stores are being stolen from, and they're seeing that they're losing revenue, what are they going to do to combat that? They're going to put these ununiformed troops, to patrol these stores, man. Whether they be, in plain clothing, or they might even have them to where it's actually, like I said before, actually, military with actual M16s standing in front of the stores, man, checking everybody, making sure everybody, pay for everything that they have, man. Not these Elamites that be having that ShopRite, at Walmart, checking your receipts. The old ass, Elamites and Moabites checking your receipts, man. They ain't gonna have that, man. They gonna have straight up the troopers with guns, man.
Yeah, them troops ain't. No, I was gonna say them troops ain't gonna be marking your receipt with a highlighter.
It's like Elder. What precept was that? The one you just read?
Isaiah 59 verse 15.
Okay, yeah.
I got one more. Isaiah 8 verse 21 says, I'm gonna start at 20. It says, to the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them. And that's why only the men of the Lord that is in the Ruach HaKodesh can break what is happening down in current events, take this news that we're seeing and filter it through the scriptures, because it is the light that the Lord has given us. Yahweh Shah said that we are the light of the world. These people, they're not gonna be able to tell you why these things are happening, man. They're not gonna be able to tell you, why all this hell is breaking loose and why America was supposed to be this great nation that is in this predicament that it's in right now. But we know it according to the word. Verse 21, it says, and they shall pass through it, hardly be stead and hungry. And it shall come to pass that when they shall be hungry, they shall fret themselves and curse their king and their God and look upward. And that's what these people are about to do, because their king is who? These elites, all right, whether it be, they look at it as Joe Biden, because that's what's about to happen to a lot of you Israelites, man, because y'all have made, just like I just said, that we have no king except Caesar. That's what a lot of these Israelites that was voting for Joe Biden, that's the mindset that y'all was in, man. That y'all had it to where that Joe Biden was going to be y'all savior. But he is going to even bring more hell than Donald D did, man. And it says they shall curse their king and their God. And who is these people? These people are their gods. Jesus Christ, Allah, all right, all these idols and all these false gods. They're going to curse their gods because Jesus ain't going to save you. He ain't going to feed you. Allah not going to take you out of this predicament, man. And it says, and they're going to look upward. And that's what they're going to be looking to the God of heaven at that point. But he ain't going to answer you, because when he did call, you refused. All right, verse 22, it says, and they shall look upon the earth and be troubled in darkness and dimness of anguish, and they shall be driven to darkness. And that's the only thing that is coming to the masses of these people, man. Darkness and anguish.
I got two scriptures. This is Jeremiah 2:27. Just adding on to what you say, you want to break it down.
You got it.
Saying to a stock, Jeremiah 2:27, saying to a stock, thou art my father, and to a stone, thou hast brought me forth, for they have turned their back unto me and not their face. And it's talking about Israel. But in the time of their trouble, they will say, arise and save us. But where are thy gods that thou hast made thee? Let them arise if they can save thee in the time of thy trouble, for according to the number of the cities of thy gods, O Judah. So, hey, the Lord, hey, just like Proverbs, the first chapter, hey, the Lord's gonna be like, yo, like when you when I call, you didn't answer. So where's your guys that's gonna save you? Where's Caesar Borgia? Let him crack the clouds. Where's Allah? Where's Buddha? You got a lot of our people into goddamn Satanism and shit, man. Even those satanic ass demonic gods is gonna forsake them, man. They're gonna be calling on the Lord like, yo, like they're gonna look toward the Lord in the time of trouble, like, hey, and the Lord's gonna be like, yo, where your gods at though? Just as much as our people turn their back on him and not their face, guess what? He's gonna turn his back on them. And I got one more. Oh yeah, something to say, Salakia.
Now, I just want to say real quick, based on that point, that I just did a video earlier today about a dream that my Eve had, where the time was coming, like we was in this time, but it was progressed, it was worse, like let's say 2 or 3 months from now, it was still like this, but everything just got heightened and worse, and you had a lot of people during that time. They were trying to find what she said in her dream, that they were trying to learn the ways of the Israelites. They were trying to learn what we was talking about, because they seen that everything that we said was actually, they're living it now. And that's the thing that people right now, as the scripture says, that in their benefits, they have not known me. But right now, a lot of people, because they still feel as though that there's an opportunity for things to go back to normal, or there's an opportunity for like their lives to have some type of normality, that they're not really considering the hell that is about to come. But once you're actually in it, then you can't say nothing at that point. Once you're living the worst case scenario, that's when people are going to try to look for the Yahweh Bashim Yahushai in the words of righteousness. Because the Lord is going to make it, I believe Aharon said it, the Lord is going to make it to be known to where only his way is the way to be delivered. There's not going to be any other way. He's still going to try to present his pseudo way, but if you trust into that, you just going right to your destruction. And in her dream, she was saying that, man, that all of her friends, nobody had an opinion in that day. That's what a lot of niggas still do. A lot of women, they still got their opinions that they think that matters, man. But it's only the words of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai that matters, and you're going to see real soon how much your opinion don't mean shit, man.
Hey, and that's spiritual that you say that. That's your vision to have, because Saturday, me and the brothers, we were sitting down, and we was in the spirit after camp, and what got brought up was Noah. We brought out Genesis, the 6th and 7th chapter, and it tells you that the Most High closed the doors of the ark when they entered into the ship. So we're in that spiritual ark right now, and the Most High is closing that door of mercy. Them doors were open, but now, like, when you go back and read that account, the Lord is closing the doors of mercy. We're in the ark right now. Us brothers through the, Rakak Dash, we're in the ark right now. And the Lord is slowly, because you had even earlier this morning, the brother hit me. I was knocked out. Woke up to a message like, hey, YouTube was down for an hour. Google was down for an hour. And brothers' pages been getting struck left and right. Y'all brothers had to make new pages. I had to make one, Apostle Tahar, a certain other brother. So that ark is closing, and it's a spiritual ark, but that understanding of the Lord's about to literally remove his men from among these people, man. But so like, this is the last precept I got. This is Ecclesiastes 7:2. It said, it is better to go to the house of mourning than go to the house of feasting. Now, a lot of these American citizens, including our people, are used to that feasting, used to that, oh, let's go to the Golden Corral, it's all you can eat. Now when there comes the time of mourning, they don't know how to handle it, because they've been in feasting so long. That's why in that article she was like, yo, I'm usually self-sufficient myself, but now I got to offend. She don't know how to act. But like the brother I told him, I'm saying, us brothers, in our run, we're used to, like, through the spirit, like, okay, we might eat once a day. We're not fucking going to the store at midnight. I need a Twix candy bar. I need a fucking slushie and stuff like that. Because we even know what this food and these certain things do to you. But these people, it's just eat all day, eat. But we're in the house of mourning, and it says, for that is the end of all men. And she's at her end. She's at her end in that article. She's like, fuck, I gotta get formula. I gotta sneak, like, to sneak in an avocado. You know what I'm saying? Just to spice up your food. Like, yo.
Slack.
Oh, so you got it out. Go ahead. You got it out.
Finish.
And the living will lay it to his heart. Sorrow is better than laughter, for by the sadness of the countenance, the heart is made better. The heart of the wise is in the house of mourning, but the heart of fools is in the house of mirth. That's not saying like, oh, we're gonna be sitting here mourning all day, us brothers and stuff like that. But we're a oppression maketh a wise man mad. You know, we know that this isn't our rest. We know that this isn't our kingdom. So it doesn't strike us to see this shit going on because we ain't ever had rest anyway.
Mm.
Oh, there's a food shortage. Oh, all right, whatever. The Lord will take care of us. Oh, what happened? Like, no, we're in the spirit of, we've been in the spirit of mourning, and being lowly. So when these people that were brought up to be middle class, high class, or even have some sort of type of, like the brother said, cars, clothes, jewelry, this and that, get brought to that level, they're not gonna know how to respond, and they're
Mhm.
not gonna know, they're not gonna have the Heavenly Father to give them that comfort through the scriptures because they don't understand the scriptures. So there's no comfort to them. So the only thing that they're going to be able to do in a time of trouble when they go to that morning is look toward who? Esau, man. That's the only thing that the government, oh, we have to take this shit because boom, I want to be back on this level. I liked my McDonald's. I want to be able to buy that still. I miss this. I miss that, you know? So
Mhm.
they're in mirth, you know?
Mhm.
And it says, let me see. Oh, well, that's it. That's it. That's basically it.
Hey, Khan, that's a beautiful point because, like you mentioned, it's going to be easy for these people to break because the government could just easily just say, "This is what you got to do to get back to your old life." And like you said, they're going to be clamoring for that. They're going to be saying, "I want to go back to it," because it was taken from them so suddenly that they didn't even get ready for any type of chaos that's happening right now. People weren't getting ready for this. It just happened out of nowhere. They
Mhm.
was looking into the precepts and the scriptures and saying that this is what's going to happen in a very few months, few years, and so on and so forth. So they weren't mentally prepared. They weren't physically prepared, man. You know what I'm saying? But it goes to show you that in the scriptures say it says in your what's that preacher that says in your comfort you with these words. I forget how it goes.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
comfort
That's
one
in
another with these words.
Second
You said what?
Thessalonians. I
Yeah.
think that's in Second Thessalonians, the third
Yeah.
chapter.
So we've been comforted the whole time. Like Rama said, I was telling Bakar about this on Saturday too. That's heavy. That we've been beat down every single day. Brother's been going through having to live paycheck to paycheck, having to squeeze a little bit here, a little bit there. Having to live under beneath your means, but having to survive. But the Lord makes it possible for us. The Lord has delivered us. He has given us food. He has given us clothing. He has given us a place to lay our heads. The basic things that we need as men of the Lord has provided for us. So these times that's coming, he said, I'm going to feed you when these people are hungry. You're going to be nourished when these people are malnourished, man. So we're not looking at America like, damn, this thing. We happy that these things are happening because it shows that, damn, these words that the Lord said was going to happen. We believed on those words, and it's happening. You know, quick precept. There's a book of Matthew chapter 24. All right, we brought this out earlier, but we're gonna finish it up with that. Verse 19. It says, "And woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days." So that's these single mothers. All right, these women who they committed all kinds of different activities. All right, that brought forth children. That you have to take care of these children. Now it's time for you to use your motherly, okay, your female your things that you use as a female to get benefits in this society. Now let's see if those things are going to help you out this time. Okay. It says, but pray ye that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day. Now the flight going into what? Your escape. Okay. You trying to flee the troubles that's coming. And it says, be not in the winter, meaning what? A tempestuous wind or some type of uncomfortable situation. And also in the winter time as well. You know what I'm saying? Going back to what? Operation Dark Winter. All right. It says what? For when it says, for then shall be great tribulation, such as was not seen since Salakia. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. So these things that we're seeing now, people are having this mindset like Bill Gates is coming and saying that, oh well, we might have to close down till 2022. Yeah, we're gonna go through a bad time, but in the next few months, at least 4 to 6 months, we could see ourselves coming back to normal. No, 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 no. Scriptures doesn't say that when the troubles come, then there's going to be peace right on earth. No, it's not until your Yahushua comes down and instills that peace, man. So until you see your Yahushua's face, expect a whole bunch of tribulation, like we just read. Okay, it says what? And except those days be shortened, there should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. So all this thing that's happening around the world right now, like the brother Ramah brought out earlier, that we've been in the ark right now, we are literally the ones holding everything in place. Once the Lord says the famine has hit, I don't need you out there no more telling these people, giving the warning no more. Destruction is gonna be flying down. So you people need to be really thanking the men of the Lord that we're the ones holding all this shit up in place right now. Because once the Lord takes us up out of here, destruction is coming, man. Like the time of Noah. Once that door is shut, it's over, man. It's clipped. All right. So yeah, man, that's pretty much it. Oh, just quick disclaimer too. This I'm not in my house right now, so this don't worry about this. Yeah, this ain't me. I see somebody on the comment book. In the back? No, it ain't me, bro. Don't worry about that. All right.
You go. Quanaf gonna say them brothers from Man Valley, they got this up in there.
Yeah. Just put it out there, just so nobody go crazy. Oh, you got Buddha in your... Nah, this ain't my crib, bro. Don't worry about it.
I got one quick precept to end it off. Second Ezra chapter 2, verse 27. It says, be not weary. Actually, let me start at 26. It says, as for the servants whom I have given thee, there shall not one of them perish, for I will require them among thy number. Be not weary, for when the day of trouble and heaviness cometh, others shall weep and be sorrowful, but thou shalt be merry and have abundance. And that's why we have so much confidence in Yahweh Shem Yahushai, man, because we're seeing everybody, weeping. Everybody's in a sorrowful spirit, except the men and women of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, man. And that's why the Lord said that he's going to make a man more precious than fine gold, because a woman, she goes off of the vibration of the man, for the most part. She goes off of the vibration of the man's, and that's why the men of the Lord are going to be very sought after in those days, because they're going to see us being in a merry and in a spirit of having abundance and the spirit of rejoicing, of spirit, while everybody else is going to be in the spirit of vexation, because they're going to be lacking. We're not going to be lacking, man. The Lord said, "What? We shall not be ashamed in the day of famine. We shall not be ashamed." At famine and destruction, we're going to be able to laugh, while everybody else is going to be sorrowful, mourning, hurt, scared, confused, unstable. We're going to have the Lord is going to provide for us, man. So we don't need any need to be afraid or any need to be doubtful, man. As we see all those things happen, knowing that Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is our God, and if He's guiding us, then as is written, that our foot won't ever slip. He placed our foot on a solid rock, man. So we got the inside track to the kingdom, man, to salvation.
That's right.
So. I got one more, just one more, one verse. Isaiah 65 and 14. It says, "Behold, my servant shall sing for joy of heart, but ye shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall howl for vexation of spirit."
Yep. And that's what the whole article is all about, man. The vexation of spirit that these people are in. And understanding that, as Yahweh said, it's only the beginning of sorrows, man. Things are going to get way, way worse as each second goes by. As the brother said, things are not going to happen and then go back to normal. Nah, it's only going to get worse. Every second goes by that you are not in the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, understand that you are being closer to more pain and more destruction for yourself, man. So, we ended there, Lord willing. This was edifying unto the elect, giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, and shalom to the house of David, the elect, men, women, and children, man. Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom.